Hey yo, what is up, family? It is the King Hitman here, and if you know anything about me, you know usually I'm not one to do these types of videos because the community can be very forthcoming with their opinion when they disagree with you about something Dokkan related. However, I always have my own opinions. I'll usually voice them clearly and like when I rank units and how I feel about units. Very, you know, Uh, yes. Specifically, like when I like in detail when I'm telling you guys how I feel about a certain card. However, we have the or six summonable LR EZAs dropped in 2021. Hopefully, 2022 is a great year for Dokkan because I think after like the same day fiasco with Global, really Dokkan's been on a roll. They haven't missed too badly. Besides when people are just losing their minds over schedules and stuff like that. So hopefully 2022 is even better. People will really start to ramp up the hype again in about 2 3 weeks because then it'll be anniversary time. Right now, people are enjoying the W Dokkan Fest on JP. Global's in a weird spot because it doesn't feel like we have an overload of content. However, we did get the Super Battle Road stages, so that's good enough for me for now. Super Vegeta is up next. Speaking of Vegeta, the worst summonable LREZA so far is definitely Majin Vegeta. He his offense is phenomenal. He I, I don't even know how to put it into words. He hits so very hard. However, he's a glass cannon, which is crazy because you see defense plus 150%. It doesn't translate. I have rarely ever seen this guy above 200k defense. And whatever number you see right there, unless he has his mitigation active, and trust me, we're going to get into that. Whatever number you see for his defense is the number you're getting. So if he's at 180k in the God event, bro, you're sitting on that. You're not getting anything out of anything more than that. So stuff like that is definitely problematic. Like he can do a 6 7 mil attack stat, which is dope, man. I love that for him. But it feels as though they didn't fix any holes in his card, which is extremely odd when you think about it. It just felt like the point of these was to patch everything up. Like LR Gohan, who obviously I'm gonna get to, we were saying like if they just gave him defense, if they just gave him defense, if they just gave him defense, and it circled back around to bite everybody because I'm full snitch on myself. He's next, so it's weird thinking about it. You know how they did it. His conditions are absurd. His 2 key and 20% mitigation when there's a Bulma on the team is trash. It might actually be the single hardest prop to get in the game consistently. There is this Bulma right here who did get an EZA, but bro, like, are you really about to run her on a Vegeta family team just to make sure he gets his mitigation? Is she that valuable to you? 2 key and 20%. Is she that valuable to you? She is, then more power to you, man. Honestly. I hate it. I don't really understand what they were thinking. He also has the conditions when a Trunks kid is on the team or a Goku is on the team or a Goku enemy for that matter. It's nice that he has the other conditions. However, what they should have done is merged all three conditions into one gigantic condition. What I mean by that is say it's E plus 3. He reduces damage received by 20%. He gives himself attack 40% when super attacking. And he has a crit chance of plus 30% when there's a Goku, Trunks Kid, or Bulma on the team. That would have, or a Goku enemy. That would have been extremely valuable. It would completely change how I look at this unit because that's such a just having one of the three would spread across all of his teams. Like for example, like I said, Bulma, you're not doing anything with Bulma unless you run her on Vegeta family. Like cool. Trunks, you could get finesse gifted warriors. Well, I mean, he leads gifted warriors, so you can do gifted warriors. You can do Blue Saga. You can do Vegeta family. Goku, you can do pretty much all the teams here in one way or another, except maybe corroded body and mind. I I don't understand what they were thinking when they created this guy. It doesn't feel like he fits anywhere. He gives himself 12 key and he automatically performs a crit when HP is 30% or less. It's cool, symbolic or emblematic or whatever of his actual final explosion. I'm not going for it. Now, next up, we have Teen Gohan. He is the one people were most excited for. I think the craziest was like Broly's. We did not expect Broly. I don't, we didn't expect him to be as potent or powerful as he was, is what I should say. And Broly is somewhere on this list. I'm sure you guys know where I rank Broly at, but the point of this is to explain why I feel this way. Gohan, his offense is very mediocre for what he is. I would like to say that based on the caliber of units that they should be, not what they are, but based on what they should be, it should really go Dokkan Fest LR, then Summonable LR EZA, then normal Summonable LR, and then I guess like Dokkan Fest brand new TUR, and then TUR EZAs. Obviously, it's much different than that right now in the landscape of the game. But what I'm saying is, Gohan should have been a very he should have been what he was way back when. Like there was a time where either you had Gohan or you didn't. Like straight up. Like I was lucky enough. I pulled Gohan on my very last ticket on Global on during the 2 year anniversary, and I walked away with him, and he carried my account. There wasn't any content Gohan wasn't able to handle, but eventually defense became a problem. And as I stated earlier, we were saying if they just gave him defense, now they kind of gave him enough defense to hold his own, but his offense is suffering. They didn't buff his offense almost at all. Very weird. I guess they gave us what we asked for, so we can't even complain for real because that's what we deserved. Is he's still super key sufficient? This is still one of the most powerful abilities in the game. It's weird though. Maybe it's because I don't bring him alongside orb changers the way I used to, but it does feel like sometimes he's not getting his 18 key every turn the way you would think he does. Because this is, like I said, this is one of the most powerful abilities an LR can have. Sometimes Gohan is getting like 12. Well, no, not I lied. I never see him get 12. Sometimes he's only getting 13, 14, 15 key. And obviously, you're trying to get to that 18 threshold. It's odd. It's odd. And his link set is still phenomenal in today's game. The only problem he has is Gate of Respect, which is simply a bad link. Categories, he's on plenty of them, he's on plenty of them with the AGL one. If you want to run them together, that would be a pretty good defensive team or defensive rotation. It'd just be a middling offensive one. You can run him with physical LR Trunks. You can run him with a lot of different units because he has Prepare for Battle, Shocky Speed, Fierce Battle, and Super Saiyan. And of course, Legendary Power. And in the Goku family units, he'd have Kamehameha. He's he's just I think the only reason I really put him above Vegeta is I feel like the teams he has are better off. For example, Vegeta on Connected Hope, like wow, even though he's necessary there because that team is that bad, he's needed there. Corroded Body and Mind, like wow, I guess people don't really seem to run Gifted Warriors. All Out Struggle, I don't think that really fits well to run him there. But if you want to, you can, of course. Worthy Rivals for now is a dead team. Super Saiyan 2 for now, I would argue is a dead team. I think I'm okay with saying that. Resurrected Warriors, people don't really run Angel Golden Frieza's team too much. However, Gohan, Hybrid Saiyan, Full Power, Goku Family, Android slash Cell Saga, along with the new AGL Trunks, Kamehameha, still good, but I mean, I guess you could argue that one doesn't really have a great lead for him. Goten and Trunks are fine, but they're not great. Bond Master and Disciple alongside the AGL Kid Gohan, Super Saiyan 2, as I said, dead. Exploding Rage, somewhat dead. Yeah, Entrusted Will, yeah, okay, okay. So I would still argue Gohan has better teams, of course. Next up, we have the GOAT, the king of the game. He's actually the best unit in the game, but I have to keep my bias to the side. We got my boy Physical LR Bardock. I was extremely excited to find out he was getting his EZA. He is simply just one of my favorite cards. His animations, I wish his 12 key got revamped. They chose not to go that route. It's all right though. It's all right. Now Bardock is weird. For some reason, they made his leader skill inherently worse, even though his leader skill was like better than theirs upon release. They they wanted to keep the discrepancy between super and extreme physical. I don't know what the hell that's about. Very odd decision because Gohan, Majin, Vegeta, Broly, they just cover the field. I don't understand what they did that for, basically. His 12 key attack is still great because you get additionals with him and he's greatly raising his defense after he does, assuming he does his 18 key after raising his defense and sealing. He can, getting his 12 and 18 key is one of the more cohesive effects between two super attacks in the game. He does so much for himself when he gets both of them to activate in one turn. Passive skill, I don't really think people remember this, but Bardock does build up at the start of each turn. So what you get out of him at turn one is not the same as turn 5 or 6. I don't actually like it. I wish they just fed it into the start of his passive. And I'm not saying that just because it'd be easier. I just don't feel like it was a necessary gimmick. He gives himself the 40% with Ultra Super Ring. He gives himself 6 key when facing one enemy, 4 key and 70% defense when facing two or more enemies. I don't know if their incentive was to try to make you always want to fight multiple enemies, which, if that is, then I guess it's fine. The 6 key he gets when facing only one enemy is not the equivalent of the 4 key and 70% defense he gets when fighting multiple enemies. I wish this condition, if you want to make them equal, yes, I could say, honestly, give him 6 key and all allies attack and defense 25%. I think that's actually a very fair condition. I think that would make them even with the 70% defense he gets. Because this is crazy for him. He's really good in SBR because of that. And like I said, his super attack effects go crazy. He gets an additional 12 key attack 100% and performs a critical hit if there's an enemy whose name includes Frieza. That condition's not too useful. And it's you can actually it there's only extreme situations where you can activate all of his passive at once because of the way, like I said, he's a build up unit. So Frieza has to be like the third or fourth phase of an event, and then Bardock has to be starting each turn, getting his build up, just for you to see the maximum output Bardock can do offensively. I don't really I don't really know what they were thinking with that. I'd rather trade the 12 key 100%. Like the crit is fine because he does that the whole fight, but the 12 key 100%, he only does once. I would cut that in half. I would legit cut that 6 key and 50% attack if it just meant for the whole fight. Like he should be able to do that for the whole. Maybe if you trigger it once, he'll have it after. Like let's say you kill a Frieza, and then the next enemy is Cell or something like that. I think that would be really nice if he had that for the rest of the fight after seeing a Frieza enemy. That would be very fitting. But whatever, that's not the route they chose to go. I do consider that more of an addition to his kit more than a knock because he's not dependent on fighting a Frieza the way certain Bardock units are. Linc said, still fine. However, I've always said this about Bardock. It's weird how it's like his kit is very fluid. His Linc said. You'll often find yourself getting 3 or 4 of his links active, sometimes 5, with any real Saiyan type unit because he has all of the Saiyan links except Super Saiyan. But then you'll also find you can never get all 7 of his links active unless you're forcing it, unless you're reaching for it. I don't know if that's good or bad. Because Bardock does have like Team Bardock is a solid link, and Pride is a good link. It's weird. It's weird because he's such a key battery. So I don't really ask for stuff like Shatter. No, I wish he had Fierce Battle. I wish he had Fierce Battle after all this time. But it is what it is. His categories, he's necessary on a lot of them. Storied figures, he's necessary. Connected Hope, just like Majin Vegeta. The team's so bad he needs it. Low class warrior, he's far and away the best unit. Like leaps and bounds, the best unit. Unless, oh no, the physical Ooh, that Kaioken Goku's on it, isn't he? Yeah, he is. So I guess it's not leaps and bounds. All right, it's closer than I originally thought. Team Bardock necessary there. He clears that Super Battle Road stage, the Extreme SBR stage. He handles that, etc. etc. I'll leave it. A lot. Why are all these LRs on an all-out struggle? Next up, we have Trunks. Trunks is okay. So I actually don't innately think Trunks is better than Bardock. The way I looked at it, however, due to his categories and how prevalent all of them are right now, and his link set and his ease of use compared to Bardock, I gave the nod to Trunks. I don't really I don't really see an argument for Bardock in terms of like I know how Bardock. Trust me, he's Link level 10s for me. He has dupes for me, bro. Bardock is great, but I gave it to Trunks. Now Trunks does want to stack. I don't know that Trunks is always a turn one unit you want to use in SBR. How do I phrase it? He doesn't need to fight a Frieza as much as Bardock does, even though, like I said, I don't feel that Bardock needs to fight a Frieza or a Wicked Bloodline for, I guess, technically for Trunks, but you guys know what I mean. His critical hit isn't really like it's into his kit anyway, so he doesn't have to have that activate the way like Bardock is. That turn where he fights a Frieza, Bardock is he's an elevated like he reaches other echelons of power when he has that condition fulfilled. Or obviously Trunks is not the same way. It just becomes easier for him to super attack. I think he super attacks pretty easily, giving himself 3 ki. His link set is just as good as into Gohan's is, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's is. I actually think his link set is over or underrated and overlooked. I find its cold judgment, shocking speed, prepare for battle, shattering the limit on him is fine. I don't really have a problem with it. Only reason I wish he had Fierce Battle is so he could link with the new Dokkan Fest, the AGL one. But you know, you live with it. He's better for long events than some of these other LRs based on his super attack effects. His categories, his categories are so relevant right now. Hybrid Saiyan, Future Saga is steadily getting buffed, so I hope you guys are paying attention. Same goes for Time Travelers. Vegeta Family is fine. Super Saiyan is top 5 team in the game right now when you combine it with Legendary Existence under Nameku's lead. Android slash Cell Saga, Bond Master and Disciple. Saviors is just an extension of Hybrid Saiyans for now. Battle of Wits, STR Vegeto's lead, and then Entrusted Will is just an extension of AGL Dokkan Fest Trunks' lead. It, yeah, I don't really have too much to say about this guy. I'm gonna leave it at that. I think you guys understand where I'm coming from. Next up, we have Goku and Frieza. I don't love Goku and Frieza as much as most people do. However, I do understand and I do not underrate their value. I just find that if they're not getting their 18 ki super, they can really get you killed defensively. They're two different levels of wall. Like, what's the word? What's the word? Like, just two different levels of tank when they do and don't have their 18 ki. So, and of course, you want to debuff the enemy if possible, and certain events make it more difficult than others. They get the ki at the start of each turn, but bro, you realize that means 14 turns have to pass just for them to make sure they get 13 ki at the start of the rotation. I don't really feel like that's a great ability. I wish it was 2 ki at the start of each. Very odd, which would be fitting because, you know, two different characters, like Goku and Frieza, so 2 ki up to 7 would be nice. They lower attack on their 12 and 18, which is actually really nice in SBR. It did help me out a lot when I was doing I think it was the Universe Survival Saga stage. Maybe it was Reps of Universe 7. When I was doing that stage, it was extremely helpful. They do have the best leader skill of any unit on this list, far and away. Reps of Universe 7 is still a high, like, elite class team right now, the way it's built. It's just with all the buffs to Universe Survival Saga and the Tournament of Power overall, I would say you're better off running like Tech Hit as your lead for obvious reasons. But this is still statistically, this is actually still the best leader skill in the game, which is crazy to think about after all these years. And then next up, finally, we got Broly. I find Broly's use in every single stage he can be applicable to be invaluable. It's like Broly. I don't use Broly I don't abuse Broly, I guess would be the best way to put it. I don't abuse Broly the way a lot of players do, but for those that do, I understand why. Broly makes a lot of the things he can be used for a cakewalk. World Tournament, I don't even play World Tournament enough to like jock Broly the way I could, but I used to. So I know, like, even before his EZA, Broly is the single best world tournament unit in the game. His pure hybrid sand buff you will see more often than not, so he automatically is getting at least 11 ki. Link set is still good outside Berserker. Berserker is just ridiculous. He shares 6 out of 7. It's ridiculously bad, is what I meant. Um, he shares a lot of links with Namek Goku, by the way, which is a really good thing for him because they do share a couple of teams: Pure Saiyan, Full Power, Legendary Existence. Of course, he fits under his lead. I don't feel like I have to explain much more. His AOE and SBR is invaluable. He guaranteed double supers pretty much every single turn he's used on. So in long events when he's doing his double and triple supers, his defense is over 300k, like clearing 300k. And bro, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done, man. I don't got much more to say to y'all. I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Y'all know why Broly's at #1. Don't argue with me, man. Hitman is out. Consider liking and checking out the channel if you want more content. And if you guys like this video, I'll definitely do a couple more of these before the new year. Or, well, I guess technically after the new year. Let me know what you guys think. Hitman's out.